guys, I'm coming to you today with a video of the Real Techniques complexion sponge, and on this side we have the buffing brush. So I applied the same foundation on both sides of my face, and then I buffed and sponged the foundation in with both of these products. Alright guys, here's the quick rundown. So for the complexion sponge, I really enjoyed the application. It was an even application. I only had to apply the foundation one layer, whereas with the brush, I had to kind of do 2 layers because it blended so much. It kind of took some of the product off and it soaked into the brush. The sponge, I'm reading my notes here. The sponge is $5.99 and it gets really good into the small areas. It's great on your hairline, whereas when I use this brush, it kind of gets a lot of product on my hairline, whereas this, I'm able to be more precise and kind of pick around the hairline, and it gets in there really good. Dual usage for this. You can use it for foundation, and then I like to use this flat part here for my under eye concealer. So it kind of gives you a 2-in-1 product, whereas when you're just using this brush, you have to use this brush and then you go in and find a concealer brush. So there's 2 products in one. So this is kind of a easy, travel friendly. You only have to bring one thing, whereas with this you have to bring multiple brushes. This is also very gentle on the skin, extremely gentle, whereas I know some brushes that I use, not this one, but other brushes that I've used, they actually kind of give me those irritation bumps on my cheeks, especially for blush. So I've noticed that this is extremely soft and I haven't had any kind of reaction or anything to the sponge. So the quick rundown on the brush. The buffing brush is a lot easier to clean than the sponge. The sponge, what I use is I use Dial soap and I kind of just squeeze and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze, and it takes quite a bit to get the product out of this brush. Whereas with this, with the sponge, whereas with this brush, I just put a little Dial on top, rinse, 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 and I kind of do this kind of a motion. And within maybe a couple seconds, it's absolutely clean and back to the white color that it originally was. As far as the brush, you don't have to purchase a new brush as frequently as you have to with the sponge. The instructions on the sponge say to replace every 3 months. So we're talking $6 every 3 months, which, I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot, or you just buy this brush in a kit and I've had this brush for at least 2 or 3 years. So, you know, it depends on how you want to spend your coin. The only downside about this is this brush, to my knowledge, does not come in an individual package. It comes in a pack of 4. So the pack, I believe, is either $17.99 at Ulta or $18 at Kohl's. So if you kind of do the math, it's about $4.50 for the brush, whereas the sponge is $5.99. So the brush kind of comes out a little cheaper, as well as, like I said, you don't have to keep repurchasing it over and over again. So on that end, I think the brush is a cheaper option. Another pro for the brush is that when you're putting the product, or when you're buffing in the product, it doesn't get on your hands because your hand is on the handle. Whereas with the sponge, you're maneuvering this around and sometimes the products will get on your fingertips, which if you're wearing white or something like that, it's kind of a disadvantage because it's messy. You guys, all in all, I can't decide which one I like better. They're both so good in 2 completely different reasons. The brush is just simply easier and it's what most people are used to using. And the sponge, it kind of reminds me of like the old school wedges, but better. And it really makes the foundation just boop, 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 and then you're done. And I don't know, you guys. I think this is a tie. Let me know in the comments below which one of these products that you guys have found that work best for you, and which one do you think won the Battle of the Brands. Alright guys, I'll catch you in my next one. Bye!